Welcome back to the Epoch Podcast. My name is Ben Wartsky. With me today, as always, is my co-host, Diego Bryan.
Hello, hello.
And joining us today, our first guest in the new season, Season 3, you should check out the other episodes, is Vikash Kumar.
What's going on, guys?
He's here to talk to us about a bunch of different things. We have just invited him here on a nice Thursday afternoon.
I've actually been seeing you everywhere around campus recently.
Yeah.
Because
I just bump into you a lot.
Well, also, I see you a lot around campus, but then like as an RA, you are like the face of RAs right now.
It's true.
On NC State.
Well, it's because he like the graphics, like housing is like making graphics and they're putting them out. And I also see Vikash all the time, but at work, because I see like people working on the graphics for you guys. I think they're almost done, or I think they are finished.
I mean, they're done. Like they're up and stuff.
Yeah. So
you know Joseph, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like showing me my pictures beforehand, and he was like, "This is your picture." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." He's like, "I have to do this stuff on it." I was like, "Oh, wow."
Yeah, it's funny because they like I don't know how they asked you the questions, but it was like the picture is just like if I were to describe it, it's like a cutout, and then there's like an outline, and then it like kind of shows pictures of things that you like.
Yeah.
I think is the idea behind it. How did they interview you for that, or did they kind of just guess what you like? Just look, she's like, he likes baked potatoes.
Yeah, that's true. No, they gave me a little, when I went to get my picture taken, they gave me a little like sheet, and they're like, fill this out and give it back to us. And it's just like, what is your favorite color? Like, what are you studying? Blah, 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 blah. And then they pick out like what they want to put on the poster, and they just put it on the poster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if it's just like a you thing, but you are, at least in my building, you are like the face of it.
Am I really?
Yeah, because like you have posters dedicated to you by yourself.
But there's every single RA.
Every single RA has one?
Yeah,
Okay.
all the RAs do have one.
Okay, it's just that you happen to be like put up
The
all
one
over
in
my
the
building.
They didn't know that. They only thought that Vikash was the only person to have a picture, so they just kept posting them everywhere. Like, man, this Vikash kid, he's really famous. Like,
No,
why
I had to put them up in my own building, and so we get them in our little mailboxes, like whenever we get flyers. And they gave me my own flyer, and I was like, I can't do this. I need to like, trade with someone. Like, I don't think I can put my own face up in my own hallway.
Right. That's just if someone saw you putting that out, they're like, wow, this jerk. So he says, I'm really important.
Yeah, I know.
How is RA going this year so
going
far?
good.
This is year 2 for you, right?
Second year, yeah.
And what do you how has it changed from year 1 to year 2?
Honestly, it's like pretty much the same.
It's exactly the same.
Like after your first couple of weeks, like in your first year, you kind of get into the swing of things, and it's like pretty similar. And there's a bunch of new RAs this year.
Are there?
Everyone was like a senior last year, so they all graduated.
What is it? What about the class this year? Is it senior heavy or more junior?
Sophomore heavy.
Oh.
And like some juniors and a couple seniors.
Okay.
So like there's like 3 people graduating next semester.
Goodness. So that does not bode well for any incoming RAs.
Not at Wolf Ridge, it doesn't. No. In
Dang
other
it.
places maybe.
Totally didn't want that.
For those of you who don't know, Diego is trying to. Well, no, we talked about this. I think maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying to be an RA next year just because saves you a lot of money.
A lot of money. Free food and free housing. It's a
yeah.
pretty good deal.
And it'd be convenient to just be on campus. If I am on like main campus.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're on Centennial.
I'm on
right?
Centennial, but I have classes over there.
Yeah. Okay.
So it works out.
Yeah. That's not too bad at all then. What else I was gonna say? Oh, okay. Speaking of posters, I actually printed out a poster at the library, and it uses the giant like 4 foot wide printer and everything.
Yeah. How was that?
It sucked. I mean, it sucked. Okay, first of all, it took like 20 minutes to get this poster printed, or 30 minutes or something like that, because they didn't know how to do it. And then they're like, yeah, it's going to be $35. I was like,
$35.
I was like, why would my teacher make me do that?
Wait, you had to do it for class and
Yes.
pay for it?
Yes, for class.
Oh, damn.
It was like a 4 foot by 3 foot poster, and looks dank. Looks incredible. Glossy paper.
Like, did you have to print it there? Like, could you have just like printed it on like 4 separate sheets of paper and like put them
No,
together?
it had to be like a well done poster, and I was like, "Are you serious?"
That's
$35? That's expensive.
Yeah, it was steep, but I don't know. Like, I was thinking about it. Like, the poster printing is such high quality. Might get some artwork printed there, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. It could be cheaper than like actually
Maybe.
getting artwork.
I mean, because you'd still have to like depends on the artwork you're getting, but you still have to buy the rights to the
paper?
prints.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, like you have to buy digital prints.
Buy.
Like
I mean,
the
you do have to like technically.
Buy. I mean, you could get like what I was talking about is like you could get like an artist friend to do something because like I know a couple, you know a couple.
right.
You get some crazy artwork done
Well,
That's true.
on a canvas.
I can be the middleman. You 15% commission. Still $35.
But yeah, that printer can print like 4 feet wide and then 100 feet long.
That's what you do. You should get, and you should print that Vikash poster and just
Yeah,
put it,
just
put it,
oh,
put it literally
no.
all through campus.
Just one big
One,
carpet.
yeah, just like from Vikash's door all the way to all of his classes. So
Just
he's always,
follow me around. It's fine.
that'd be crazy. I don't even know what that would look like.
It costs like thousands of dollars to
just
get that
looks-
printed.
It just
It's
looks
like
so
very
deformed.
long, like-
It's just like squished, and it's like the ratio isn't even
it's, like, way
correct.
off.
Yeah.
Speaking of ratios and being way off, I was looking
Wow,
at buying
segue.
Snapchat filters for just like, I don't know, like I didn't know, like I've been
How-
looking into like buying.
You buy them or you can
buy
just create
well,
them?
you create them and then you have to buy a space for them to be put up in.
It's like a geolocation.
Yeah, so it's
thing, right?
geolocation, and so like you like go around like wherever you are, you zoom in on the Snapchat map, and then you like click points, and then it like so I could like focus it specifically on Tally. If I like really cared, I could like pin it out
Oh,
on
like
Tally.
draw a
Yeah, like
tally.
I'd draw a Tally, or I could just draw a big square.
Yeah.
It'd be more expensive that way, and like it's like kind of pricey. I don't remember exactly what the prices are, but I think per hour it might be like
Per hour.
yeah. I mean you do it like whenever you sign up for it, you say how many days you want it to run for, and then what hours you want it to do. So like if you want it running 24 hours a day, it's like I don't even
So
want to guess a
This
price
is like
because I'll be super way off.
like Snapchat's making bank off of these.
Snapchat's making some
Because
money.
NC State has like a permanent one.
Right.
Well,
Well,
I
I'm sure. I think that's different.
Those
Is
are
that- those different deals?
Yeah,
Because like
Okay.
they have like ones like for the city, like
That's
the city of
true.
Raleigh. And,
Yeah.
like,
Snapchat probably makes those.
Right, and
Yeah.
but then I'm sure the sponsored stuff that are like
Well, yeah,
for like
that's-
I'm
they're
sure
probably making
those-
bank
but
off of
those
it.
are
Yeah.
crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're like continental. I don't know.
Yeah.
I assume they're like at least regional
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
and that
for
I'm sure
sure.
they're making some dollars because I was just looking at, like I was just thinking about like doing just I don't know just randomly just
Yeah.
Making
putting
one?
them out there just I don't know just for fun just
Mhm.
because I could.
Do you remember the pricing at all?
That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. I don't
know.
I'll
I
look it
was
up real quick.
my friend's little sister had a Sweet 16 birthday party, and they
She had one.
had a
Or-
Snapchat filter, and she said it was not that expensive at all,
Interesting.
like
I
as
know.
much as you'd think, because I think
it,
they
it just
got
depends on how long you're running it for. I think that's
Yeah.
the main thing.
I think they got it for like their little clubhouse area where they were having the party, and it was like for like 4 or 5 hours, and she was like it was like $10 or something.
Yeah, I think like that.
Or
that,
$5 or
that
$10.
sounds about right. I think it's just if you're doing like a big area for it.
Yeah,
so let's
like
say
if
I'm
you did
running
like NC State campus, it's probably like
yeah,
huge.
so let's run it.
I know it's becoming a thing for like weddings and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
I'm sure, I'm
It's kind
sure.
of cool to do. I think it'd be pretty cool. I love Bitmoji too.
Oh yeah, I still
And
don't have one of those.
You don't have a Bitmoji?
No,
How have
I'm
you
like the
been-
only person in
Oh
my,
my
like,
goodness.
Snapchat friends who doesn't have one. I
'Cause-
just like never got around to making one.
Snapchat has just like upgraded their game so much because now they have like the 3D Bitmoji cartoon
yeah.
animations.
Yeah, Diego's always grinding
And
on
I
that.
love that. That's my favorite part of Snapchat. I swear I've been sending them like all the like at least every other Snapchat or something like that.
That's so
That's a
funny.
pretty high percentage.
I know they're just so great and they highlight my life so well because like half of them are like I'm tired. I'm working in the library and like I like live here for some reason
Yeah.
because engineering, but you know it happens. So we're figuring out the price right now, and it looks like
Well,
for
hold on. Let me do for one day.
one
I want for 1 hour. It seemed for
is that 100,000 square feet?
No,
That's
that's
a
a
million
million
square
square feet.
Oh my
It's
God.
it's
So try-
$39.
Try for like it's $39 for a million. So try like the size of a building.
No,
So if you just wanted like a building, because that's what they did, I'm pretty sure, is they just did like their
And
clubhouse
this is
where
the-
they were having the party.
This is the price per hour.
yeah.
No, I think that's total price for 24 hours.
No. This is 1 hour.
Oh,
you-
yeah, it's
you
on the
put
right
1
right
hour
there.
on
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Okay.
Interesting.
For 24 hours is like
$100
$1,000.
wow.
Oh, okay.
That's actually so cheap.
Oh, it must be at least 20,000 square feet.
Oh.
That makes sense though, because like
$5
accuracy
So about $250 per hour, maybe. I think
Okay.
it seems
per 20,000 square
Per
feet.
20,000
per
square
20,000 square feet. So do the math.
Yeah.
measure out your apartment. I don't know.
Dimensional
That's
analysis.
so
But
big,
what I've heard
though.
is that like for people who do weddings, like I've heard like because I have a friend who does like Indian wedding Snapchat filter stuff, and he said that what he does is like because Indian weddings are longer. They're just like
they're very long.
they're not. It's not just a day you go to Indian wedding. You like
Hold on,
it is a
please
weekend,
tell me
right?
more.
It's Friday to Sunday, right?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on like what part of India you're from and what the family tradition is.
Hold on, time out. I'm getting involved with an Indian girl right now.
They're crazy.
How long?
They're 3 days. It's like a 3-day event.
It's three. Sometimes they go longer.
I'm just
But
kidding.
yeah, it's like you get like the mehendi ceremony, you have the wedding, you have the reception, and then if you're from certain parts of India, you have the dance party is a whole day.
Oh, that sounds great.
But if you want to get into video, Indian weddings are the place because they have to pay
go
you
hard.
They have,
Yeah.
well, they just have to pay you for multiple days.
Like 4
That's
days.
true.
It's not just like a
True.
6-hour span
Yeah.
of like, I don't know, just like a normal.
I've seen
normal
like the
wedding.
Indian like dancing parts of weddings.
They like rent out Tally. I've seen Indian weddings here at Tally.
In Tally, really?
Yeah.
That's
Mhm. They
interesting.
like
I didn't know that.
they like paraded all around through Stafford Commons, and it was like 3 days, and
That's
it was
cool.
crazy.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I mean,
yeah.
I've been to a couple, but they've mostly been like smaller Indian
Smaller,
weddings.
like 3,000 people.
like 500 people.
Oh my god.
No, not 500. I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but it was more than like 100 definitely.
Right.
Which is like, I guess I don't know
How
big
much-
American weddings are.
I don't know. I don't know how big American weddings are either. It's, like I've
My
been.
guess is like 200.
200
is
is like an
about
average wedding?
Yeah.
I've been at weddings like
'Cause
where
it's
it's
like-
like very small. I think it depends. Like I think if you're getting
Yeah.
if it's your first marriage and you're young, I feel like those are
It's
pretty big.
bigger,
But if
yeah.
you're like if this is your third marriage and like you're older, I feel like there's
Yeah.
like 5 people.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, yeah, you got it. Maybe this will
Okay.
work.
You got it this time. We believe in you.
It's like the same 5 people. They don't really want to be there. They're just like they're obligated.
like
at
free
this
drinks
point.
or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like but you don't even have an open bar at your 5th wedding.
You might as well just bring a case.
Yeah,
and
just
then call
bring
it
a case. Just
Or
all
a
right,
cake.
here,
Just a cake. Cake stand
A
on your
cake at a
wedding.
wedding. That just
Keg
means
stand,
this is
wedding keg
the
stand.
classiest wedding of all
Oh,
time.
man. That would be so funny.
No, but
I don't. What do Indian weddings look like in India though? I feel like
Oh, they're way
American.
crazier.
That's what I was gonna
They're
say. I
way
feel like
crazier.
Americanized Indian weddings are like compared to American weddings are crazy, but like
yeah.
I didn't realize it was 3 days. I thought it was like one awesome day. It
No.
looks
no,
like
it's one
the
awesome
videos
day
look
and then
so cool
another
from
awesome
Indian
day
weddings.
and then
Yeah.
another awesome
That's
day.
insane.
Yeah. It's
They look so cool.
and it's
though.
also it's like very dependent. So India's like a very diverse country. So like it's very dependent on where you're from in India. The weddings will look completely different, and like the traditions will be completely different. And
Does your socioeconomic status matter as much, or like would a village or whatever go all out as well?
it matters to an extent. It's still like if it was like at a village, there'd still be like 1,000 people there, or not 1,000. There'd be a lot of people
Yeah.
there.
Right.
It would just like the wedding itself wouldn't be as nice.
Yeah.
But like Indian weddings, like you literally invite like everyone you know.
Right.
Like
Every single person.
so when my cousin got married, they invited our friends who were in India at the time
Holy
to go
cow.
to their wedding because we weren't there. Like they obviously invited us,
Right.
but we weren't there. So they were like, they invited our friends who they knew through us, who were just happened to be in India at the time, and they like it was like on my dad's side, and they invited like my mom's entire. They invited like my mom's entire family, pretty much. Like her entire extended family was invited. So like it's literally like
everyone you know and
Yeah.
everyone who you know knows.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Goes to this wedding.
yeah.
It's like the biggest open invite of all time.
Yeah, it's pretty big open invite, honestly. Yeah.
That's pretty good though too, because then like could be a lot of presents.
Do you turn down Indian wedding invitations? I feel like that's like not an Indian culture to turn. I feel like in America, if you get invited to a wedding, you can be like,
I'm busy.
but I feel like if you get invited to an Indian wedding,
I honestly don't know like the etiquette on that.
okay,
I'll be honest, but I mean, we like, I've had an uncle get married and a cousin get married, and we weren't able to make it to both of those because it was in India and it was like in like October,
right,
and so like it's kind of hard.
right.
But
Gotta miss
would you
school.
have gone if it was like in the summer or something?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Really?
yeah. Oh
wow.
yeah. Like my
That's
family goes
crazy.
to India like every 2 or 3 years anyway over the summer.
Okay.
So like if someone got married over the
Then
summer,
excuse
we would
to
be
go,
there.
then
We
you'd
would be
go.
there for sure.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's
I feel like I feel like what do geofilters look like in India?
They're the same.
Are they the same?
Yeah.
Are there more?
Colorful?
There's more people. I feel like there might be more geofilters popping up.
I mean, Snapchat isn't as like popular in India.
yeah. Is there
It's
an
like
equivalent?
growing definitely. No.
No.
They use Facebook a lot. They use WhatsApp for their texting.
Okay.
Like
Everybody-
literally everywhere else except the United States.
yeah. Like that's the app where you can like put a picture in the background, right, of the text. I see Chinese people use it, or
yeah.
Chinese,
No,
Asian
I
people.
think that is.
They use it all the time.
I guess
here.
you can, yeah. But like literally, like no one. I think what had happened was like the United States got unlimited texting before, because we have like our carriers are weird. They're like,
Yeah.
way different from everywhere else. Like
right.
most other places are like prepaid SIM cards. So we got unlimited texting first, and so we didn't really like see the point of WhatsApp. But like
It's like
everywhere else-
Wi-Fi texting, right?
It's Wi-Fi texting / data texting,
Okay.
and it's like texting uses like zero data. Like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So everywhere else, it's like you pay 99 cents a year for unlimited texting.
I mean
much.
that is not bad at all.
Bummer.
Yeah, it's a pretty
so
good deal.
expensive.
And
I
then it,
wish. or I'm glad we don't have
I
that.
know. And then it's like you don't have to worry about like iMessage or like whatnot, because everyone has
Android,
the same
yeah.
app. So it's like
Yeah.
everyone can text over Wi-Fi. Everyone can, like, even if you don't have service and you have Wi-Fi, like
and
you
it's
can
all
text.
flooded.
Yeah.
Ah, man, that sounds great.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's similar to iMessage, just you can't text everyone
Yeah.
through that, I
Yeah.
guess. But I don't know. A lot of people have iPhones, so
Yeah.
and I think that's actually an understatement. I feel like so many people have iPhones.
I mean, it's like probably half of all smartphones are iPhones, I'd say.
at least, probably more. But what is that?
This is not an iPhone.
That is not
See?
an iPhone. It should be an iPhone.
Makes life
So
difficult.
What do you
You
think
make
about the
life
new
difficult.
iPhones?
They're interesting. I feel like they always play catch up.
Would you have you seen the Google Pixel 2?
Yes.
Is that something you're interested in?
So I just got this phone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is
You were
the
talking
S8,
about that.
which is so nice.
You already cracked it?
It's the screen protector.
Oh, okay. I was
But,
like,
like,
wow.
But like, look, it's like there's no bezels, and there's no, like, that's what the screen looks like.
I mean, it's pretty similar to like an iPhone X as far as like how small the
Yeah.
margins are.
Yeah. But
It-
I mean, like,
it
this
looks
came out like 6
great.
months ago.
Right. I mean, I will say Androids look pretty great.
Yeah. I think this is like the nicest looking phone ever made, honestly.
I like this curved screen.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something really cool, but I just don't want to learn how to use an Android out of pure
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
100%
That's
pure
fair.
laziness.
I honestly, like, I don't get people who are like, oh, Android is better than iPhone.
Yeah, like
It's just like whatever you.
I guess they're about the same, to be
whatever.
honest.
It's honestly whatever you prefer.
Yeah.
Like,
I just like the interface of the
Apple.
iPhone better. It
Yeah.
just makes sense to me. Plus it's easy because I have a Mac, and so
Mhm.
Macs
That's
and
why
iPhone
it's
they,
super.
they
That's why I
combine
like it a
like
lot.
yeah,
they're
the
just- it's just
ecosystem is
convenient.
huge.
It's just
Yeah,
like-
the ecosystem is definitely
I'm
huge.
always like trying to text Tony in class. And Tony's like on his computer. I'm like, why isn't Tony responding? And I'm like, oh, he doesn't have a Mac and
Yeah.
he doesn't have an iPhone.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have an iPhone now, but he's like, because of the Mac thing, it's just like,
Yeah.
And for like pictures and stuff, I can just like airdrop them to my laptop.
yeah.
without,
With that,
like,
no,
doing
that
anything.
is really nice. So
Yeah.
there's definitely some benefits. I like
if you have both.
I like the
Yeah.
iPhone X. I don't know why they went from the 8 to the X. I don't understand that.
Well,
I
it's
think it's
to
'cause
the 10.
10th anniversary.
And they had like the S's variations,
So-
like the 3S or the 3GS or like 4S.
Yeah, but then they'd
5S.
be way past 10. If
Yeah.
you
Were
use
they?
those. Oh,
Oh.
100%. If
Because they've had an S for like everything.
they've had
right?
S since the 5, and we're on the 8.
Well, they had 3GS and they had 4 something.
Okay.
4S. Yeah.
4S.
But then they had the color as well. They had
Yeah,
something.
like the
Oh,
five
then
that
maybe
was-
maybe
No,
the 10th
yeah.
anniversary or something.
I'm pretty sure
I
it was
believe
the 10th
that.
anniversary.
Yeah.
the
okay.
iPhone 10. I don't know. I've been calling it the iPhone X. Whatever. I thought it was a good reveal. People are going to buy iPhones regardless. People love iPhone.
Yeah, it's the thing about iPhones is like they're pretty much set. Like people like, unless they really screw it up, like people are just gonna buy it because that's what they're used to.
Yeah, people,
Yeah.
People are like, oh, my 2 years is up. Time to
Yeah,
get whatever
yeah.
new iPhone just came out. And then the cycle. I mean, I say that like it's
No,
a
yeah,
bad
nobody
thing.
would
and
even like look at the new like other phones that are offered.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which is crazy, but I mean, I'm the same way. So.
Yeah, it's just like man, I hate people like that, but continues to do the same exact thing. Oh
I
man,
don't know. It just makes sense for me. I was gonna talk about actually a car vending machine that Alibaba is opening up in Europe.
What does that mean?
So like in the city, they have this giant. It's almost like a building, and it's a car vending machine. So you select the car you want. The floors
oh.
rise.
Okay, I see.
And then you pick your car. You take it out.
You're
It's like
sa-
a rental car.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
rent it. Okay.
I
Yeah.
thought you were saying like.
Like a toy car?
No. I thought you were saying a car that was a vending machine.
Oh, yeah, car vending.
I was like, why would you do
Stupid.
that? Like, you could just put stuff in the seats. Like, I don't know why you need. Why is that? What does
it's
that mean?
also a vending machine.
That's like that's the next gen of cars. Is that not only can you drive, you can buy snacks. It's like, why would I do that?
I just thought it was noteworthy though, because like Raleigh has one.
Do they?
Raleigh opened one
they?
up on Capitol, which is really inconvenient because it's not downtown Raleigh at all.
Yeah.
So
I don't know who's going
That's
to Raleigh and
crazy.
needing cars though. I feel like that's not like a. I mean, like, yes, you need cars when in Raleigh, but I just don't think there's enough tourists or enough
Right.
tourist
I think
attractions.
it's
So
more
like,
of like a novelty thing.
it kind of
think?
is. I don't know how practical.
sounds
I
it is.
feel
like a
like
novelty thing.
Raleigh's on the rise though. Like, or
I mean, like,
North
people
Carolina
are
in general.
gonna
I think.
use it.
Yeah.
But like half of the draw of it is like we have a car vending machine.
Just something they can like put on a website
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, do you have one of these?" No, didn't think so.
Get people talking about
I feel like
it.
that's what NC State does with Hunt Library and the
Yeah. Yes.
the book robot.
Very
100%.
They're just like,
Very
hey,
true.
welcome to State. We got engineering
Yeah.
and a book robot.
The thing about Hunt, I feel like, is like it's really nice to walk through and it's really nice to look at.
It's not practical as a
It's
library.
not. It's practical up to an extent, but like I feel like it doesn't utilize the space as well as it could.
No, not even close. They just have like, we have 600 different types of chairs.
That's what I was gonna
half
say.
of them are like kind of uncomfortable to sit in. like,
Probably
they're good.
more than
They're
that.
good to lounge in, I guess.
yeah.
But like to do work in, which is
Yeah.
what a
Most of
library
the-
is.
Some of them
is.
I'm like my legs are like suspended in the air and I'm like scrunched up on my chest and like how am I supposed to do any
Yeah,
type of work
yeah.
here? Like what is that?
Like the egg chairs are nice if you're just like on your laptop and
Yeah.
then like
chilling.
yeah, and then like the working like the second, third floor is all right.
They
but
have like
then,
a couple computer spaces and
yeah,
stuff.
the computer spaces are nice.
Yeah.
I mean it's a
sure.
nice place, but I agree with what
I
you said. I
like-
mean it's like
I like the desk. I need desk.
Yeah,
Or
I
just
need-
like a flat
honestly,
table.
That's why I like Hill is like you can get your like little booth. and
Yeah,
you can,
your
like,
little
be in
cubby
your little cubby, and like no one is bothering
and work.
right. See, I like to peek over those and like stare at people, throw stuff at people, just like dump some water on their
Balls,
head, just be a general nuisance in the library.
You're like the clown from it, just like
yeah.
peeking over the guy.
Have you seen it?
you. No, I'm not a horror movie guy.
Okay.
Um,
Jake
Okay.
and I went to see it. We talked
I
about it
heard
last
it was
time.
really good.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was
We liked
scary.
it.
Yeah. I went home yesterday and talked to my mom, and she's like, "Yeah, I saw it," because like I finally got my dad to go see it with me, and then she was like, "Yeah, wasn't scary at all.
Yeah.
It actually kind of sucked," and I was like, "What?" Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah,
wasn't
I
scary.
wasn't scared. That was a,
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I was scared.
I don't. My mom goes crazy about horror movies. And
Really?
like, she's like,
she really likes
predictable.
horror movies.
Seen it. Could have predicted that from a mile away. I was
Yeah.
like,
Lived that one.
yeah, I was like, probably though. She grew up in downtown Chicago.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they went hard.
They went hard with
I
the
bet.
supernatural down
I
there.
bet.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of ghosts just like running around, like trapping.
I mean, Batman lives there.
Batman.
So all the supervillains they saw for sure was
Batman lives in, doesn't Batman live in Gotham City?
well. I mean, Gotham was filmed in Chicago,
Oh,
so
okay.
totally.
Sorry.
Well,
I did not know
there's
that.
a lot of movies in Raleigh getting filmed, or just
Yeah.
in North Carolina. Tax breaks.
Let's
go.
go.
But
Yeah,
they're
there's. I remember my dad would always talk about. I forgot what show it was, but they would always shoot a show near where he worked, in Charlotte. But yeah, North Carolina, we are getting some
Really?
filming. But that was like a couple years.
Last thing
ago.
I know about is like Iron Man 3. I don't
Hunger
follow.
Games got filmed in North Carolina.
Did it?
Yes,
It did.
in the mountains, right?
Yep.
Holy cow!
I know the guy, the first kid who died. I know him from somewhere. I don't like. I went to a camp with him. I think at one point.
Really?
Yeah, he was like the kid from District 4 or something.
What?
The first guy who died. He has curly hair. I don't even know what his
No.
name is, but
That's really
I know.
cool.
Is this something you can? Is there a website to apply for roles?
I don't know. I don't know how.
Right.
Probably like
I'd love to just be extras.
an
no,
extra.
I know someone. She lived in my neighborhood and she was an extra. Her and her mom were extras.
That sounds like a great gig.
An extra. Well, it depends if you're like an extra, like Creed from The Office. He was an extra.
Creed was not an extra. Was Creed an extra?
Yeah,
technically?
he was an extra. No, he was an extra. And then they're like, "Man, you're so weird. We're gonna
okay.
give you a role in
Okay.
The Office." Like, I think a role of
That
an extra
sounds
like
great.
on The Office would be good versus like a role if you're like in a crowd of
What do you mean? It's
5,000
like
people.
Yeah,
well, I
me
mean,
and
but like if you can't act, like being an extra sounds pretty
I don't
dope.
know. I think I just like I'm saying if I was an extra, I'd want to be an extra in like a smaller scale where I could like.
Like
I mean,
people
even
could see
not
your
like
face. I mean, yeah,
extra
that's
in the
what
Hunger
most
Games.
people-
Me and Jennifer Lawrence worked together on the same
Put
project.
that on the
Put the resume.
collectively on the same project.
We were in the same city twice.
Didn't see her once during filming, actually, at all. But
Right.
same project. We collabed.
I'm curious. Like, I don't know. It's totally different. Like being on like a set of something like that versus because I feel like a lot of people just don't know how long it takes and like how like
long movies take.
just like so I film like I'm in a film class right now and I did a shoot for we have two projects and our first one is some sort of fiction narrative driven story and so we filmed it's like a 1.5 2-minute max thing and it's 15 minutes worth of footage and that took us like 5.5 hours to get and it was just like I went there and it was like 4:00 and I was like, all right, I'm ready. And then I had so much work to do too. And I was like, oh, it's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
I left there at like 9:30.
Jesus.
Yeah. And it was like it was relatively simple and like still took so long.
I mean, so like setting up your shot and like if you really care about it, like this lighting, which thrown together 1 second.
Yeah.
Them, they go hard. They're like, oh, what is that shadow right there?
Yeah.
Let's get rid of that. And like
yeah.
even just like setting up your shot
Well, there's so many people
on top
involved.
of all
It's
the
not-
acting.
Yeah, there's like the camera people. Then you got to there's like
Audio
gaffers,
people.
audio people, light people, assistants for every one of those, then
Wardrobe.
assistants for
Yeah.
those assistants, and then like
Catering.
yeah, exactly. And there's just like oh man, movie filming, crazy, just a crazy
Industry.
industry in general.
I mean, that's why it's a multi-million-dollar industry.
So I think we also wanted to talk about Lost City that was discovered recently that was conquered by Alexander the Great. I'll let Diego start this one off.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so outside of Iraq, they discovered like this island like 10 years ago through like spy footage or something like that. And just recently they've been able to go to it and they believe that like this is a lost city. They're calling it the lost city that was conquered by Alexander the Great. And
So not Atlantis.
no, not Atlantis. Wasn't underwater,
Oh,
but
man. You got my hopes up there. For a
I
second.
know that would have been crazy,
Yeah.
but like they're finding like hundreds of artifacts here, and it's just recently become safe enough to travel to. And I thought that was really really cool because like I don't know, it's 2017. They're
Yeah.
still discovering
That's crazy.
lost
Is
things.
it just like in the middle of the ocean?
Yeah, it's like right outside Iraq, so
So
Like,
not
not-
in the middle of the ocean?
not.
Did the
It is
Iraqi
in the
people
middle of
know
the
about
ocean?
this?
Yeah, like how did they not know about this?
Like, is
before?
this
I
just-
guess it's
is
not
this-
seen from
we-
shore. Not seen from
Did we just
shore.
discover this, or is this
Do people live there?
No, it was discovered like 10 years ago.
Okay.
by the Iraqi people? Like, did the
Through
Iraqi people
through
know
satellite
this?
footage, it was discovered.
Like satellite imagery.
and I'm
Interesting.
guessing like people like, okay, yeah, we know it exists because of this satellite footage or whatever. Nobody's been there because it's super dangerous in Iraq, or it was.
Oh, okay.
And so now that it's like kind of settling down a little bit,
Okay.
more or less, they're able to travel there
Okay.
Right.
and actually see what's up. And they're discovering hundreds of artifacts and things like that. I
So-
don't know.
Are there
So
still
people
cities?
used to live there,
People used to live there, and,
Okay.
it was conquered by
and then
Alexander
it was
the Great.
conquered, and then everyone just died.
Yeah, I guess
It'd
because
be crazy if there were people still living there. It's like Alexander the Great was just
Yeah.
chilling. It's like that
He's
doesn't
like
even
200
make sense.
years old. Like
Jesus is on that island.
Jesus, yeah, everyone is on this one island
Tupac's
outside
on
of
that
Iraq. I'll say this: the picture that this article uses reminds me of the island that Wonder Woman lives on.
yeah,
the movie?
Amazon.
Yeah, the
island.
Amazonian, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Just when they like break through that bubble.
that
It
does
does look-
exactly.
Yeah, it
Maybe
looks a
they
lot-
just used.
that's what
Use
that's what
that.
that's where they filmed. Actually, they were the first people to
Oh,
set foot on
yeah,
this
yeah.
island. Was
They're
for
just like,
for
we
the
don't actually
Amazonians
know what
alone.
this island looks like, so we're just gonna use this picture from the movie. I mean, you'd be surprised how often that happens in like news articles.
all the time. It's absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why people get so confused with things, but like,
confused about what.
well, this is a terrible example, but so the Las Vegas mass shooting.
Which I wanted to talk about briefly.
Yeah, like 5 people just got their picture thrown out there who didn't do the shooting at all or like weren't really related to it. They were
Yeah.
just like old and like kind of same face structure, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And like that gets thrown out there a lot.
I mean, it's because as has been talked about at length, it's just like news is just like, all right, here's what happened, but it happened 30 seconds ago. We need to get something out in the next 45 seconds. Who can give me
Who's
the
first?
best story in the next 45 seconds? So everyone's just like smashing their keyboards against their face, and then they're like, all right, Google search guy with a face, and then they post that. And then,
Like, we need a picture of this guy in 30 seconds now.
And he's like, we don't even know his name. It's like, get me a picture.
Yeah.
Just imagine that though. You're in your office and like the whole office is like gathered around the TV, mass shooting. You're on the TV. You did it.
Everyone
turns around and they're like, "What is going
you
on?"
just, like, close your door and just lock it. It's like, guys, I literally could not have done that. I've been here. You saw me. Like, no, we don't trust you anymore. It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah. So like things like that. That'd be crazy.
That was crazy. I heard about that. This happened from time of recording, probably 3 days ago. I think 4 days ago, maybe.
Sunday night.
I don't know. I woke up Monday morning, maybe, or whatever. That makes sense. I woke up like Monday morning, and then like I saw all this stuff like pray for Las Vegas, pray for Las Vegas. I didn't know what had happened. I just like woke up, and then at the time when I woke up, it didn't like not all the the numbers weren't out. I don't think they were still confused. Like I was hearing like very low numbers compared to now. I heard it like four deceased and like 30 injured maybe or something like that, and that number has obviously since grown. I think it's like 58 deceased and like over 500. I thought it was like
no,
I thought it was
500 injured.
500 injured.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's a lot.
I mean, it was for those who don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't know, but if you don't know, then there's the biggest massacre or the biggest mass shooting in U.S. history.
I think it's modern U.S. history.
Is it modern U.S. history?
I don't know what modern U.S.
Well,
history means.
I read something that was like
post-revolutionary
this person
war.
said like in the past 7 years they've heard that phrase used 3 times, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
sure.
Wasn't there? Not to blow this out of proportion. Wasn't there like a Miami shooting in a club
Yes.
where
The
they killed
nightclub.
I think it was like
80
No,
dead?
no, it wasn't.
It wasn't 80 dead?
It was much
definitely
less than
not
it.
more
Maybe
than
80
the Las
injured total or
Vegas.
something.
Yeah, I think maybe like
I thought it was like
30. I would guess
okay.
somewhere around there.
Yeah.
That's a Google. I'll Google.
Yeah, and so that's crazy. And like to me, that was like because I hear about these mass shootings
Orlando.
that are happening.
I think it was Orlando. Not
Yeah,
Miami.
yeah. I hear about these mass shootings that are happening, but like they're not happening here, so it's like kind of hard
It's
it's kind of hard to picture. Like
it seems like very like
far away.
49. Orlando.
49. Wow.
So
Not still huge.
yeah,
but
I mean, still a
like,
significant amount of people,
Yeah.
I know, but like I was in Las Vegas like a month and a half ago
right?
on my road trip, and I was like, holy crap! I saw that hotel. I can picture where they were.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's insane. That's like what?
Yeah, I just don't. It just seems really crazy to me. Like what you're saying, when it's just like because it's tough. It's tough to put yourself in like.
It's tough to like. You're just it just like seems like it's happening somewhere else and
Until it's happening not somewhere else,
Yeah,
and you're like, man,
exactly.
it is happening here right now. I
Yeah.
can't. Like it just seems like people didn't really know. It seemed I've seen like some of the like stuff when it was coming out originally, and like people like when it first started happening, people didn't know what was going on. Whoever was performing at the time, I know they got him off stage. Jason Aldean, they got him off stage like
and then people
immediately, and then
started freaking
people were
out.
like, okay, something, because I think people thought it was fireworks. I read,
Yeah, they were like
Um,
miss pyrotechnics.
but then
or, like,
people like
something.
it just like people just were. I'm just curious what percentage of people were injured in the stampede versus like actually getting shot. Like I'm curious what the percentage of. I assume a lot of people, because if you fall down and stuff and like that, then people aren't going to be like running around there. You're like getting stepped on. You'll probably get more injured than you would maybe potentially otherwise.
Did you see his hotel room?
Mm-mm.
He had like 27 firearms.
I heard
tons of ammo, like so much ammo. He was firing on the crowd for like 11 minutes straight with automatic weapons.
That's crazy. And that has sent off a huge, like, again, like in our political climate, just set off like a big battle between the left and the right. I know Jimmy Kimmel put out, he had like a 10-minute monologue in his nightly show or whatever where he like started crying, and the left was like, oh, look at this, look at Jimmy Kimmel. I'm not sure why Jimmy Kimmel has become the spokesperson.
I mean, he also cried with like Leo the Lion, or like maybe not Leo the Lion.
I know,
but,
I
like,
know what you're talking about.
That one lion that the orthodontist shot or something like that.
Okay. That I think was blown out of proportion.
I agree with that. Like
if
according to
you
the people.
sorry, I don't want to like derail the conversation.
No, yeah, go for it.
But so it's interesting. I listened to an NPR story about like trophy hunting and how that works. And
it's a huge part of the economy.
yeah, so it's actually so what they do is like in Africa, they like 99% of the animals like that are endangered, you can't hunt, obviously.
Right.
But like once let's say like a certain animal gets like really old, or like it's like interfering with like their
People, population?
no, not even the people. It's interfering with like their conservation efforts. Like if they're trying to like grow the population, and it's like if like a male is like fighting another male or something like that. Mostly, I think it's mostly when they get old.
Right.
They basically auction off the right to hunt this animal to the highest bidder, and they pay like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to hunt this animal.
They pay
and
more
then
than like millions almost.
yeah, or
Yeah.
or millions. Yeah, and then
It's a big jump.
No, they do pay
20,000
millions.
deers, like $3 million.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. It's like a lot of money.
It's
I'm
absurd
I'm
how
sure
much they
it's,
pay.
in the millions. And then what they do with that money is they put it back into the conservation of like that species and of that area.
Yeah.
So like it's like not as black and white. I mean, you can obviously still make an argument that like this is still like wrong and stuff like that, but it's definitely not as black and white as people think it is.
Why is it wrong?
Why is it wrong?
Yeah,
It's just
why?
because like hunting endangered animals, like
Oh, hunting endangered animals.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
And they like this lion had like a name or something. At least which
that
is
bugs me
like
so much. Like if you're gonna like
I know.
you eat meat, like they're all animals. Like you can't just like be like, oh, this one had a name but this one
The
didn't.
worst part
so.
is like the American population made a bigger deal out of it than like the people who actually live there.
Yeah, well, I mean, because that happens all the time. Over
Yeah.
there.
Right.
They're used to it.
Right. Well, I mean,
I just think you need to like learn about like what is actually happening.
I mean, it wasn't illegal.
Yeah, it was
Right.
legal. He
Right.
bought the rights to hunt this like old lion that was gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
He did it.
And then he did it, and then that money went toward the conservation of more lions.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you can make an argument that like this like sets the wrong like image for conservation, and like we shouldn't be doing this. But like you need to know that like he didn't just like go and shoot in a lion and like come back.
Right.
I mean,
there's a difference between trophy hunting and poaching. Poaching is illegal, and they
Yeah.
like hunt, and they do whatever they want,
Yeah.
and they actually seem to. I would assume they actually endanger animals with their overhunting and like
Yeah.
just money,
Yeah.
just like they're hunting illegal animals and then they sell
It's like
the animals.
unregulated
Yeah.
hunting.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Versus like extremely regulated. I don't know if it's how regulated it is,
It
but
is.
like
in the United States, it's done really, really well. Like you have to get a tag for everything you hunt, and then they'll like bid out like, okay, we're giving out 100 tags this year for this type of animal. And like now there's like more white-tailed deer in the United States than there were when Columbus landed.
Yeah.
Like all that money goes to conservation efforts. So then like the population does balance out.
yeah.
And
I mean, it's still like I don't think it's like a one-sided argument, but I still
Right.
think like you should like look at the whole picture.
I mean, I think if
Definitely.
it's legal for a reason, most likely.
Yeah.
Like I trust other
Yeah.
countries
I
to
mean-
know what works for them
Yeah.
and their
it's like
animals to a certain extent,
Yeah.
of course.
I actually read an article like a year later, and it was something about how what country was it? It was like Kenya or something, because of all the flack that the dentist got or orthodontist got.
Whatever it was.
Nobody wants to hunt or like do
Right,
trophy
they're
hunting.
like scared to
Yeah.
go out there.
Yeah.
And like that's like a huge
He was
part
like
of the
he was getting
conservation.
death threats and stuff. I think
Yeah,
he was
Yeah,
like
he had to
people-
move.
People,
It was
yeah,
bad.
people were like very angry. I don't know. I don't remember exactly when this happened, but I definitely remember this story.
I think it was like a couple years ago. I think,
Probably. I'm
yeah.
gonna look it up. It's gonna be like 2005. I'll be like, what? Okay, not 10 years ago.
But yeah, so
I
like
was 8 years old.
nobody wanted to like hunt and do the pay
Right.
money to like trophy hunt.
Mhm.
And so instead of putting out the tags, because like they couldn't get anyone to do it, they
Yeah.
had to hire like mercenaries to like control the lion population or stuff like that.
Right.
So then they had to pay people to
Yeah.
kill some of the animals because they were like starting to interfere.
Do they have to control the lion population?
I think they do, because
Because
like
I thought they're like it's super low. So
there's
they're
like
trying to,
there's like
grow it.
some parts where they like start to interfere with humans, and like
Okay.
Well,
it's all the ones that like start like go rogue, I guess. Maybe
if the lions were
not like a huge deal, but
if the lions were so low, then I don't know why they would give out a permit to this guy.
Well, I think it was just like the one lion that was going to like.
There's,
it was like an old lion.
yeah, the
It
country
was-
will release like 20 tags a year or
and
something
there's
like
like
that.
2,000 lions. So like, and
Yeah.
like those lions are not like going to reproduce or like stuff like that.
Right.
they're starting to have issues with them, and you can
Yeah.
sell them for a ton of money, which
goes right back into conservation.
yeah.
Right.
So that's
Yeah. I mean,
That's
there's definitely an argument to be made on the other side, but I definitely think that like
yeah.
you definitely need to like
It's-
know all these facts.
I think as
beforehand.
long as it's all on the legal side, and as long as like all the parties know what's going on,
Yeah.
and like the hunter doesn't hunt extra things while he's out there,
Yeah.
and I don't even like. I just don't know what the like. Let's say that he goes out there, they give him one tag, he comes back with 4 lions. Like I just don't know what, like, even like if they make him pay so much money, like I don't know if there's only 20 lions in the area, like he just cost them years of work.
Yeah,
So I feel like
yeah.
there's no real good payment process. Or
I mean,
like
I
don't
think at that point he should probably just go to jail. Like,
but even like like I guess that's fair, but in
I agree.
the same way, like I don't like with like a murder or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like yeah, you can. I guess murderers don't pay the families,
yeah.
but like in the same sense, like I just don't know what you could do to someone who like took more
like,
than they are.
To like get that
Yeah,
back.
there's
you
no real way
can't.
to like
Yeah,
that. It's
you
like
can't. There's no way to get that
so
back.
it's a very like trust like that.
Mhm.
Well, I guess they go
I
out.
mean,
They
they're
probably
also
go.
he also has like people with
Yeah,
him. He's
they
not,
don't
by
just like send him
himself.
out there. Like, all right, go find it. You got it.
Yeah.
You got to be back within 48 hours.
Yeah.
They
No,
should
it's
like
a
they
very
should.
interesting. If you're curious, like look up that NPR story about the hunting, like the trophy hunting and stuff. It's very very interesting. I would say.
I agree. I mean, there's just so much to it. But want to talk about something else. This is something that Ben talks about all the time is bar trivia.
Bar trivia is fun.
And
Dude, I've never gone to a trivia night, and I've always wanted to go to.
Yeah, I've never done one either. And
Wow.
it sounds really, really cool.
Sammy's
Sammy's?
Bar and Grill.
Where's
First and
Sammy's?
third Monday off Haven Ferry.
Do you have to be 21?
No,
Okay.
Sammy's first and third Mondays, second and fourth Tuesdays.
I think we
Okay.
should start hustling in bar trivia.
Not we would get smacked, but
Destroyed,
yes, we can go.
We
That
got to
sounds like fun.
practice to start hustling.
I will go I will go for one of those 4 or
Dude,
2
let
of
me
those
know.
4. I'll
I'm
let you
down.
know.
I'm down.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
It's like some of them are like I think swayed towards like older
yeah.
like audience members. So like some of them are like, all right, we're gonna play songs from the 1990s. Name
it
the song and
Like, what are the
artist.
questions? Like, is this just mostly like songs?
It's
and
just, it's
stuff?
I mean it's just very
Okay.
like so there's
Pop culture
there's like
questions.
seven rounds, and then 10 questions per round,
Okay.
and then
Wow, that's a long
I mean we came in third or fourth I think when we
Nice.
went.
Who'd you go
most
with?
recently? I mean I've gone a couple times. and
Really?
the most recent time I went with like the usual crew.
Okay.
Like without David and Tony, but like the rest of the other guys, like the
Okay.
Mensa group,
Yeah.
I went with them, and we knew like because one of the questions was like national parks. So like Smokey was there and Clark was there, and they both knew every
Just, like,
national park, and
destroyed
so like we'd like,
everything.
and then another one was about Disney princesses, and I knew every question. So.
Just like with
Let's-
your powers combined.
Yeah, exactly. You just like that's the thing. You don't need like super smart people. You need like people who know
Experts in
very
obscure
specific
knowledge.
things.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like Vikash is like, all right, if there's any materials on here, I know everything about every material they can talk about, like all the chemistry. Diego's like, all right, I know. Okay, Diego doesn't know a lot,
Yeah.
and then
I can, yeah, God.
Diego can spell some of the things. Actually,
Absolutely
no,
not.
we don't. That's actually the last thing we want Diego to
No,
do.
just give me calculus or statics
yeah,
problems.
yeah. If they're like, all right,
Dominate.
So, like,
salt.
do the static problem. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Diego's like, oh, I got this.
No, national parks and stuff like that would be my expertise.
Yeah, it'd be like, I don't know, what are there vending machine cars? True or false?
You're
Vending-
welcome.
No, but there are vending machines for cars.
Right, yeah. It's like false, and I know why. No, but it's a good time. But Diego's gonna segue into.
Yeah. So, God, off topic. But a bartender actually is dominating in Jeopardy right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
he's winning.
Oh,
He's winning like 7 days in a row, and he's
Okay.
won the most money the quickest.
really?
And so he's in 7 days he's racked up like
$280,000 or
Jesus.
something like that.
Does he just like bet it all on Final Jeopardy or something?
I don't know what he does, but he's like really quirky and like knows like a ton of knowledge
That's
and like
crazy.
weird. And he's like, oh well, I mean it's that guy, and like like he's very
Like eccentric.
yeah. And so I think it's really really cool,
That's very
and
cool.
it's kind of a cool thing for bartenders because I bet like They'd probably be really good at Jeopardy, actually.
Yeah,
I-
if you have bar trivia night every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just like listening in on it. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, I know the answer to this because I've heard it 12 times.
Yeah, and he was talking about it. He's like, yeah, well, I did that, and then like I studied Jeopardy.
Yeah.
And so he said he just watched all the Jeopardy episodes on top of that.
Wow.
And I guess there's a pattern to it.
Yeah.
This man solved it, and he hasn't been beaten yet. Although the person who's won the most was on for like
I mean, yeah, it was like
30
Ken Jennings was
days.
like on for like
He
At
was
least.
incredible. I
he was
remember
on
watching
for
like
maybe
months, I feel like.
months.
Or like that's what it felt like when I was watching the thing. It was like always like him
I
over and
didn't
over again.
watch I've never sat down and watched Jeopardy.
Okay.
It's never been my
Yeah.
show of choice. Like
Yeah.
I'll watch it on YouTube. I'll look up
Yeah.
like smartest people on Jeopardy
Yeah.
because I feel like everyone has typed that in. Maybe just me. But I don't know. Whenever I'm just on YouTube, I'll look up like who's really good at Jeopardy. It's
Yeah.
really interesting to see them and like I like to compete. I don't know enough about anything.
Yeah.
Like
This dude's score distribution, or like money distribution, I guess is the score. It was like 35,000 to like 12,000.
Yeah.
Like 35 is a really big number, I think.
I
to
mean, yeah,
reach in Jeopardy.
that's what you're saying. Like he's won the most money in the shortest amount of time. I feel like the only way to do that is if you're just
going hard.
grinding. You're grinding,
Yeah, and
and
if
you're
you just like even if you're winning, just still bet money on Final Jeopardy because
Yeah.
you know the answer. Like
right.
What if that's the reason you lost?
Oh,
I
because
mean,
you
that
bet all
could
your
be-
money.
I was watching Teen Jeopardy, or it was like kids or teens or something, and this one kid had like $30,000, and the
Oh
next
my
person
God.
had like 10,000,
Yeah.
and so like he was gonna win no matter what, and
Did he bet it all?
he bet it all. 'Cause
No!
he saw the category was U.S. presidents, and he's like, I know everything about that. He bet it all, and he won. And he
Oh
ended
my
up
okay.
winning.
I thought-
He was like $60,000 or $70,000. It was absolutely insane.
oh man.
What an animal!
Yeah,
That-
I was like,
that's
you are an
I
animal.
thought
That
the story
is-
was going the other way. I thought it was going south. I was like, oh no.
that's like the best. That's like, did you see the It's a really famous clip of the guy who won Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah, and he calls his
Dude,
dad.
that was so great. Like this. Do you know the plot?
No,
not the
no.
plot, but the
I know how the game
format.
works.
So
Yeah.
like in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, like it's a question-based game show. It's true, false, multiple choice, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fill in the blank ever. Actually, I think
I
it's
think
all.
it's
I think it's
always
always
multiple
multiple
choice.
choice.
Yeah.
And so you get a lifeline, or you get 3 lifelines. I think you get ask the audience, phone a friend,
Yeah.
and like
You
50-50. Yeah, 50-50.
yeah, 50. Yeah.
And so this
They eliminate
so this
two
guy got
answers.
got to the last thing, and he had not used any of his
Are
lifelines.
you serious?
Yeah.
And so in the final question, it was about like some painter or something like that. And so then he's thinking about it. He's like, oh, can I use one of my lifelines? And like Jeopardy, the host is like, yes, finally, we challenged you. And he calls up his dad, and he's like, hey dad, I'm about to win $1 million.
That's all he said.
Yeah, so he's like, hey dad, I'm on Jeopardy.
Or I'm on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
I'm sorry, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I'm at the $1 million question. I know the answer. I just wanted to let you know that I'm about to win $1 million. Hangs up the phone. It's final answer.
That is too
Boom.
good.
He was just
Drops the mic.
well, and so they actually brought him back.
Really?
Yeah, he went on twice. The second time he played for charity because they're like, we don't want to lose $1 million again.
Yeah.
And because the first time he said, like in an interview after, he's like, oh, I felt a little uncomfortable about the art questions. They gave him like all art questions the next time, and I think he didn't. I don't think he got $1 million. He won like 250,000 or
Okay.
500,000, which is still crazy.
Yeah, that's still awesome.
But it was just the craziest thing I've ever seen because I was like, man, this guy, he just can't be stopped. And he was like I don't even think anything challenged. He was just like immediately, it's
Yeah.
just like whatever, he's just clicking it.
Really?
He's just a smart dude.
I think they like changed the format of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire because I watched it like a year or two ago and it was like completely different. Like you get like a random amount of money and it doesn't like go up chronologically or whatever.
What?
It's really strange.
So it's similar to what was the show that Howie hosted?
Oh, Deal or No Deal.
Deal or No Deal.
That is, in my opinion, that is the worst game show ever.
Really?
Yes, because it's so pointless.
Okay, so I never watched the show, but like one time my mom got this random gift from like some random person, and it was Deal or No Deal, a handheld game, and I played that thing to death. Never won $1 million.
No, because you don't do anything. You just like they open a case. And then there's like a certain amount of money. You have a case, and they never make the deal.
No.
So like pretty much your fate is determined Like
100% luck.
Like it's 110% luck.
But you have to. There's some strategy to it.
The only strategy is whether you make a deal or not.
Yeah, the strategy is to walk away, like probability of walking away with like a certain
because like
amount
if
of
there's
money.
like a $1 case and like a $50,000 case, like the boss or whatever like calls you and he's like, I'll give you like $20,000 if you walk away right now, and you have to like decide if you want like the $20,000 if you want to risk it for the $50,000.
It's like a
and that's
game
like
of
the
odds.
only decision you really make in the entire thing, and the other stuff is just like picking random numbers and they open boxes.
Well, but see, but the idea, yes, you're right. It's completely luck. It's still intense though. I think like because if you have like, let's say there's 4 cases or let's two as you like there are 3 cases and there's a $1, $50,000 and $1 million, or let's say 2 $1 million cases for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So then you don't know. So then you pick a case and it's $1 million.
Yeah.
Then you know one of these 2, and so then you can like do the swap and then. I don't know. I agree. I don't think it's not like skill based.
It's like they found the most like intense experience they can get with like 0 decision making and 100% luck.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
Like I applaud them for that. And like
I mean that's how I guess that's not where Howie got his start, but I mean that's where I knew him from. Like I never watched his stand up or anything like that. Like whenever on like he's a
I mean he was
host.
a great host, I'm sure. Like whenever I watched the show he seemed like a good host.
I just remember they did like a sketch of it on Mad TV, and I love that sketch of it. Would recommend watching Deal or No Deal, Mad TV. It came out like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Really?
Still great.
Howie's interesting. Isn't he like a germaphobe?
Yeah. He's like a hyper germaphobe.
I thought he was like getting over it or something.
Yeah, I think he is getting over it, but like that's just like a crazy thing to do as a host.
Yeah.
To
That's true.
pick up that gig, you gotta.
Well, because you have to like touch
people
cases that other people have touched, and like maybe not. Maybe actually.
I don't
Maybe
think
he just like didn't.
Only the models touch the cases.
Yeah. So maybe he actually didn't touch
but
anything.
like when people got excited, they like jump on him or something,
That's
and
true.
like
That's true.
he probably had like an internal panic attack.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean,
It's just
props
like
to him for like doing
Yeah,
that.
true. Yeah.
It's just like it's a weird profession for someone who doesn't.
Like touching people.
Yeah. Assuming that's the germs he doesn't like.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's just like mics or like
No,
public objects.
I heard him talk about it. He like doesn't like he didn't like shaking people's hand and stuff like that.
Yeah, he always did the fist bump.
Fist bump, yeah.
Which is understandable.
I guess,
Sometimes
yeah.
handshakes can be a little grimy.
Sometimes handshakes can just be uncomfortable. Like I feel like there's just different types of handshakes, and if you pick the wrong one, then it's just awkward for everyone
it's
involved.
like you grip it wrong. You're only like holding their fingers.
Right,
like,
exactly.
What is
Or if
this?
you get like the classic dead fish is like the
Yeah.
example of just like the worst handshake you
Yeah.
can do to someone, which is where you just like go limp and like,
Oh my. Okay, I was just about to bring that up because like, well, sorry.
see or
No
that like
handshake.
or when you see, or when you hate when you think someone's going for a handshake, that's just like like how do you even recover from that? Like you just like stick your hand out and then just like put it back. You got to fake them out. Just
Yeah, so I was in my engineering transfer success class. Such a BS class. But we were talking about the career fair, and this lady came in like preparing us for the career fair from like the career center or something like that. And so she called me up to the front
Is
of
she
the
an
room.
older lady with brown hair, short?
Miss Florienzia. That's how she says her name. Florienzia. Florienzia. She made a singer name. Sorry.
Interesting.
Totally random.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Totally random. She brought me up to the front of the room and was like, okay, you are meeting with somebody. How do you interact with them? And I'm like, hey, my name's Diego Bryan. And then she gives me the dead fish in front of the entire class. I'm like shaking it, like continuing on. Totally phased by it, of course.
Was she like testing you to like, see how you respond to the dead fish?
Yeah, and she was like, "Yeah, you just got to keep going." It's like she just like used me as an example in front of everyone.
It's just like that is the worst.
I feel like if a recruiter gives you the dead fish, like you might not want to go work for the company.
Right. Or they're trying to tell you we don't want you.
Yeah,
That's
like,
what
if
that means.
they give you the dead fish, like that's literally their job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go to the career fairs?
I
Both
went to
of
the
them?
career fair.
Did not. I was gonna go.
Vikash.
I know. I felt bad about it.
There's one in the spring too.
Yeah,
just as big.
I was gonna go, and I was like, it was like 1 p.m. on Wednesday, and I was like ready to go, and I didn't have shoes. It's like the dumbest excuse ever. I didn't have shoes, and I didn't like have anyone I could ask for shoes, and I was like, I really don't want to roll up in like red sneakers and a suit. So
You'd be like, oh, you're that guy with the red sneakers, though.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, at least you had everything else.
yeah.
I didn't have anything.
Diego had nothing. Diego like
Okay,
called me or texted me at like 9. Oh, Diego can tell.
Yeah. So like I lived at the apartment before
Yeah.
I moved into a dorm, and so like in that transition of moving, I just took all my nice clothes home. So I was like, it's career fair day. Go through my wardrobe. I'm like,
Oh no.
I don't have anything. Literally nothing is nice. And so I called Ben up. I'm like, hey, can I have your nice clothes for the day?
And I was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. But I wasn't there. I was at work. So then
Yeah.
my roommate, Tony,
Yeah.
got it for Diego. And Tony was like running through campus with a, like, I didn't even know what he grabbed.
With
Like,
a suit jacket, a button up, some ties.
Damn.
he just like, Tony just like took my closet, just like threw it on the ground, dusted it up a little bit. Yeah, it was quite a time.
So that's what I went into in like big clothes.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, Diego and I just are not in the same size range. We just
Yeah.
should not be
Yeah.
wearing, at least my suit definitely should
Yeah.
not, because the suit's like a little big on me.
Oh
And
really?
yeah, it's like, I don't know. I would like to get a more fitted suit.
It's a little bit like stockier on the shoulders and stuff.
Yeah.
But I got offered a job, like some BS job. Turned him down though.
Turn it down. Yeah, good move.
Said
What
no.
a guy.
My man.
Said no. I got this podcast
Civil
attendant.
job?
It was like the company was like windows and doors or something.
Say Windows. I was
And
like,
so, like-
as in Microsoft.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Microsoft.
Offered me a job.
Yeah, Bill Gates was there. Didn't care. No, but like some windows and doors company, and like they were looking for civil interns. Wasn't exactly sure what I was going to be doing, but
Did it pay well?
we didn't discuss pay or anything.
Oh,
So
I don't want to hear it if it's not under. If
yeah,
it's not over
I don't
45.
know. It was some lady who was
45.
getting like no action at the. That's a terrible way to say
Yeah,
it.
It's like, wow, you're gonna make assumptions, Diego? Jerk.
But like it was one of those booths that were just dead.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so I was like, all right, well, you'll be my practice run.
And then she just offered you a job.
Yeah, I was
on
like,
the spot.
wow.
You're like,
well,
wow,
this is
I was not ready for that.
super easy. But like, I can't even get a job because I'm going to be studying abroad this summer. So
Oh, yeah.
Right.
it
Where
was
are you
more.
going?
I had to go. I'm going to Prague
Is that
Wow.
at
confirmed?
the Etsy Institute. I pretty much confirmed. I got to submit my application, like officially submit it. But yeah,
They can turn you down, right?
They can turn me down. I don't think they will though.
Okay.
I mean, I talked to the guy. And
All right.
we hit
Someone
it off.
timestamp that.
Actually, I got an email.
It's like, all right, podcast is over.
But yeah, so Prague should be really, really cool. It's a lot of design students, but they're taking a couple civils, and they're taking a couple civil professors there to teach classes there. So it should be cool.
And you've never been to Prague before?
No, I've only been to London and Italy, and Vienna, Austria. So
We'll just keep naming countries then, why don't you?
And- no, but yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Like
Oh, I'm sure.
I've heard-
I'm
You'll have a
so
blast.
excited.
Prague is beautiful,
Yeah.
from what I've heard.
Yeah,
From people who have been.
and it's like it's in the center, more or less, of Europe, so it makes it convenient to get
Oh,
around
yeah,
too.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Europe seems super, super exciting.
Just be on
I don't
the lookout
know.
for that.
Is that a complete podcast? Do we want to call it? Do we want to talk about one more thing?
One more thing, and
Okay.
it'll be a short thing, and it's just some predictions because tonight we play Louisville.
I'm
State
so
is ranked for the first
excited.
time in 7
Oh,
years,
I'm
so
so
shout out
excited.
State. Might be
Shout
the
out to
last time
State.
we're ranked in 7 years,
Shh.
but it's
We'll
okay.
see.
Whoever's losing tonight will get dropped from the polls, I
Probably,
believe.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I was reading online.
Oh yeah, because like they
Um,
have 2 losses. Like,
Louisville is favored by 3 points at the moment.
and that was 2.5.
2.5?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
sure.
what I saw.
Even better. So the projected score I
Much
saw was
different.
35-32, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the difference will be in our kicking game tonight.
Man,
Like
hopefully.
it always is.
Yeah.
But actually, in our kicking
Kicking game, maybe if we can contain Lamar, if their best wide receiver is playing, because he has a wrist injury. So
Oh,
if
okay.
he doesn't play, we have a shot.
I mean,
And
even
we
then,
have a
his
decent-
wide
I think
receivers don't want to catch balls.
I think the thing that it's going to be most dependent on is our secondary, because I feel like that's the weakest part of our team.
I
right now.
agree. But
Um,
someone came. We had a senior safety come back last
Oh yeah,
game.
that's true.
Um,
But still, like
I'm not. I don't
like
know.
even at the beginning of the season, before anyone got injured, it was like the weakest part of our football
Right,
team.
right.
And then like 3 people got injured. I was like, okay, there's like no one here. Like,
Yeah, we're starting like 5 freshmen. or
Kick
something.
returns too, and punt returns.
Defense.
What?
covering kick returns and power returns.
Yeah, we've been pretty
Slacking
bad about
at
it this
that,
year.
yeah.
Like,
Well, I think people say that. I've not looked
I
at
mean,
the
South
stats.
Carolina scored a touchdown on us.
They did,
scored
but
it-
that guy's good at that. Like that guy
Okay, yeah.
he
Yeah.
scored one the next game too.
Yeah.
Because
but
he's just
Marshall
an-
did it too.
They what? They didn't score it.
They scored one.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because we got a touchdown and then they returned one like immediately.
I think
Or
it got
something.
called. I think it got called back. I don't. Think,
Oh
I don't
yeah,
think
it did
that-
get called back,
okay.
but
Like,
that's a weak one.
Yeah.
And
I
then
don't
they
know.
also had another one where it was like 80 yards again, and they didn't score.
I'd be curious to actually look at the stats and see like how weak actually is our
Mhm,
special, because people
mhm.
like I've heard this a lot from our group of friends. I keep hearing, oh, we're so bad at it. I'm not saying we're not bad at it, but
Yeah.
I'm saying we might not be as bad statistically as it looks like we are.
I think those are we're not bad, quote unquote bad at it. Those are definitely the worst parts of our football team.
Yeah, I mean our offense is looking
Like
decently efficient.
Pass is good. Running is good. Ryan Finley is like a very good quarterback in my opinion.
You think is he gonna? I think he's going to the league next year.
I think he could be a backup in the league.
That's fine. I think all we need is a
That's what I
quarterback to get
think.
injured. We got 5 NC
We
State
got 5
quarterbacks
NC State
starting.
quarterbacks in the league.
QBU.
I actually don't know. I don't know how to like rank quarterbacks or whatever.
Right,
He
I
seems
agree.
really good in college. Like
Does that mean anything?
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Our defensive line is monstrous. They're insane. Our linebackers are pretty good. Like it's literally like the secondary is
I mean, I
like
think
kinda,
As long as we can, if we get up early in the first quarter, because we will come out with energy.
yeah.
That's what we do. Every game, we're like, woo,
Start.
let's go. We're here. We're ready to play. We need to score 21 points in the first quarter. We need to be up 21-0.
And then we can just run the ball because we're good at that. And
Right.
run the clock down.
Right. As long as Naheem doesn't fumble, please don't do that. Naheem.
Okay,
you
that
can do that.
fumble was like a very well, like he literally like came in from all the way over here and like punched the ball directly. So like I honestly don't think that was Naeem's fault. Just because like if you watch the replay, I think it was
It was like super well executed.
the Syracuse game. It was like he literally was like had the ball like very well.
No, he didn't fumble in the series. We haven't
It
turned
might
the
have
ball.
been Florida State then. It was either.
It was one of the earlier games. So we've been doing pretty well about not turning
Yeah.
the ball over, which
No,
is why we've been
okay.
doing. Which
Yeah.
is why we've
yeah,
had
we
success.
haven't had an interception yet.
Well, Ryan Finley hasn't thrown an interception in 200 some passing
Yeah.
yards. It's like the record
The
of some
record, yeah.
sort. But it's like every ball that gets intercepted by him, there's like a penalty on that play because he's had 2 interceptions,
Mm-hmm.
2 interceptions in the past 2 games that have both been called.
Yeah, the Florida State one.
The Florida
Really?
State and
Yeah.
Syracuse,
I didn't know that.
both of them got interceptions, but were overturned by penalty
Yeah.
on their team. And then
Yeah.
he also threw one that like hit the guy. He was like, the defender was like standing there, and it just hit him in his hands and fell. I was like, okay.
I mean, but even with that, like he still has been.
no,
insanely
he's
consistent.
been doing pretty
Yeah.
well. Jalen
Sam is
Samuels, he's just an animal. He's a stud.
Insane.
Bradley Chubb, I hope you eat tonight. I hope you're hungry.
I want to see that sack. I love Bradley Chubb, dude.
I think he's really cool. I would like to get him on the podcast at some point. I'm not
Bradley
that close
Chubb,
with
if you're
him.
listening.
Yeah, Bradley Chubb, if you're listening, I'll just play this for him. That's actually what he's listening to in his headphones pregame.
Oh yeah, like pregame, hype him up.
Yeah, he's just like, all right, Epic podcast, let's go. Drop some knowledge on me. We'll drop some knowledge on you, Bradley Chubb. Next week we travel after our victory tonight. I predict we're gonna win 28-14. I don't know. That seems
28-14.
pretty crazy,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm gonna go with. No, actually, I'm gonna change my prediction. I predict that we're gonna win 42-35. I think that's more likely.
That was gonna be my prediction was gonna be like 35-28 or like.
I think we're gonna have to
It's gonna
score
be a
some points.
high-scoring
We
game
need,
for sure.
unless we can legally injure Lamar Jackson within the first quarter.
Don't say that. That's awful.
I don't want us to injure him. I'm saying if he were to be injured, it would make it easier on our football team. That is all I'm saying. I don't ever root for player injuries. But
Except this one.
no, but I think it's gonna. I hope it's a
Just
close
keep
game.
him off the field. Keep
Yeah,
running.
that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, we
That's
did the.
honestly that's
if
the
our
best thing
running
to
game
do.
gets going, I don't know how
Yeah.
good their line is.
Their O line is not supposed to be good. They're
No, their
actually.
D-line.
Oh, I don't know how good their D line is.
Yeah.
But I can tell you their O line was ranked 176th out of 178 college football teams
So
last
basically,
year.
it depends on whether once Bradley Chubb gets back there, whether he can catch Lamar Jackson.
Right, and
It's like,
he's quick, but Lamar Jackson is very quick.
no, Lamar Jackson is probably faster than Bradley Chubb for sure. But like, if you collapse the pocket, like it's kind of hard.
Yeah, we need to collapse the pocket, but actually collapse the
Yeah,
pocket. Like, we
not
need
like
to
kind of collapse.
yeah,
the
we
pocket.
don't need like a half collapsed pocket. We need like the full collapsed pocket. Yeah, on top of Lamar Jackson, hopefully.
But do you think that's why their O line's rated so bad? Because like he kind of holds on to the ball a long time compared to most QBs.
I mean, maybe. I'm saying they've given up 11 sacks in the last 3 games or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna eat.
Hopefully. That's
Oh,
where we can
man.
eat. Is if Kent State can get to Lamar Jackson, if we can create turnovers. Our record when we create turnovers is like 20-3 or
We're
something
scared
like
of a
that.
repeat of last game.
Last year we got absolutely smacked. It was not. It was.
There was
not a
also
good
on
game.
top of like the total morale
Yeah.
beater
also-
of Clemson.
Yeah.
They
Like,
also took out Days in like the first quarter, right?
Did they?
I think I don't know if I watched that game or not, but I was reading about it.
I
They
mean,
definitely took out.
we should have beat
Days without-
Clemson, lost to them,
Oh.
and then played Louisville after. While they're probably still sad.
Well,
and,
it's
like, fuck.
This like the
And
energy.
Louisville like lost their last game, and they weren't supposed to lose that game, so they were like.
Oh yeah,
super
yeah,
pissed.
and Louisville was pissed too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
Well, this game will be crazy tonight. It's a Thursday
Oh,
night.
The energy is gonna be insane.
It's a
we have
night game.
It's a night game, nationally televised on ESPN.
blackout.
We have no blackout. That's the color
oh,
for
sorry,
the game.
not television blackout. It will be on TV.
It's gonna be crazy. That like the energy. Oh man, it's gonna be. I hope. I assume. Do you think people
it's
will
kind
be
of
here?
it's kind of confusing
I
if
think-
there
I-
are going to be people
I think
here.
if it was on a Saturday, people would not be here. But I think if
Really?
yeah, because it's the Saturday of fall break, so people would have like already gone home.
Oh, okay.
So I
You
think
think people
people-
are staying for fall
like
break?
I'm staying just to go to the game, or else I probably would have left like today or tomorrow morning, or like I
Right.
mean
I
I
know,
probably
like-
left like yesterday or today.
I think there'll be.
the
I mean,
dorms are pretty empty.
are they?
Yeah, from what I've
Yeah.
seen.
Really?
So it's
But
like
definitely
hit or miss.
the-
I don't know.
The non-student part of it will be packed. I think, like the
Oh,
rest of it.
We'll
will
see.
Be
I hope
definitely
it's packed. I hope the crowd's loud. I hope there's
Yeah.
so many people. I think it's gonna get crazy. If we score first, if we score early, it's just gonna be nuts. The place will just explode,
Yeah.
and it will be incredible.
I'm
And
very
even if
excited.
we were to not score a point after that, it'll still be awesome. Like Clemson last year when we scored, like we were like tied with them going into halftime. It was just that was probably the loudest it's ever been. People were just
We played
yelling.
at Clemson last year.
That's 2 years ago then.
Okay.
Freshman year.
Okay,
We were
yeah.
like it was just so crazy. So I don't know. Should be exciting. Should be a good time. But I think with that, we're gonna end it for
All right.
today.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
This has been season
Episode-
3, episode 3.
Yep.
Of the Epic Podcast. Thank you, Vikash, for coming on. If you want to shout out, whatever you want to shout out, any social medias.
Instagram.
I've not been seeing you on this. Well, Twitter. I still see you are active on. You're tweeting about the
Yes.
Panthers. Just being
At-
excited.
At Vikash_Kumar97 on
It's-
Twitter.
I don't know how.
I don't know if you want to follow me, honestly. Like, it's okay.
It's just average stuff.
It's like 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10.
It's like middle, average.
Okay,
5 out. I
okay.
hate. Sorry, I know you want to end it, but 7 out of 10 is not average. 5 out of 10 is average because it's in the middle. Okay, let's get that clear.
So you're saying when people say 7 out of 10, you just they
They
don't.
actually mean 5 out of, because it's like in the middle. Like, you know, it's average is the middle, not like good. Like 7 out of 10 is like above average.
So you're saying when people rate someone like a 7 out of 10, you think they should just not be average? I agree. I feel
Yeah.
like 7 out of 10
I
gets
feel
overused.
like ratings are inflated because no one does anything below 5. 5 is like the worst you can get. And then like no
Well-
one says like a 3. Like no one like a 3 out of 10 like doesn't exist because like people just rate things from 5 to 10.
But if we're looking percentage wise, like 50% as average does not
That's
equate, at
true.
least school
I think
wise,
that's school wise. But I think if you're
which is
rating,
crazy.
like,
That's like
a movie or something, or like stand up, like a comedy, or like, you know, anything you consume, like I think you should use the entire length of the scale and
Right.
not just the top half of the scale.
yeah, I agree. I guess that's fair. Yeah, people say out of 10, but really they mean out of 5.
Yeah.
And
They just use 5 to 10.
right, yeah, it's an interesting point. Well, on that note,
On that note,
remember to follow us. We are a 7 out of 10.
there you go.
On,
Actually, 7 out of 10. Not average. You're above average.
on Twitter, Instagram, at Epic HQ.
Epic podcast.
Epic Podcast. What am I talking about? EPOCH Podcast. Or you can check out our website, www.epochhq.com/podcast. Make sure to check us out on iTunes, YouTube.
Yeah, leave
wherever
us a
your podcasts
review,
are.
a like, favorite,
Comment.
everything.
Check us out. Say hello. If you know anyone that has some stories to tell, send us an email. Contact us. We're always looking
Wow,
for
You
people.
guys have an email.
Yeah.
On our
Fancy.
website.
On our website, which you can check out. Previously mentioned.
All right, that'll do it.
All right.
See you later.
Adios.